Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here to review Hell's Kitchen Season 22, Episode 3. And this episode was kind of pretty good. I mean, it was better than, the two horror show episodes that we watched last night. Those weren't very good. So I liked it kinda. I did think though that it was kind of a letdown after the teaser trailer, because the teaser trailer, nothing came true from that trailer except for, Matthias started a fire, and I don't like that false advertising, because to me it's like, it's fine to create like a sensational teaser that's like really crazy and weird. It's just that when that doesn't actually happen, it kind of like, it makes you think like, oh, I wish that I knew coming in that wasn't going to happen, so that I wasn't like a little bit disappointed. Because really the main theme of this episode was, once again, the women's team was not working well, because of their Jason. Their Jason in a dress. Well, she's not in a dress, but you know what I mean. And then also the guys, they have problems, but not really compared to the girls' team. I mean, the girls' team was very, 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 very divided this episode. And I told you guys, and I don't want it to be like that too, because it makes things a lot more unpleasant the way that, that a team is divided as this. They're going to get kicked out of the kitchen. And that's the last thing that I would want the women to be, is, kicked out of the kitchen. Okay, that was too far. I was just kidding there. You guys know I was just fooling around. I'm sorry. So first off, they did this breakfast challenge, and the laughing girl, she struggled again, and, she's doing her laugh, and Gordon's like, stop, and she's like, I'm not laughing, and it's like, she's not laughing, I know what she's doing, and so that was frustrating. And then also with this challenge, both of the Jasons were criticizing their teams. So Carmen was criticizing the way that the people on her team communicated. Jason was criticizing his team. So it's like, once again, they're very, very similar with how they act and how they think about things, and the people on the show. And then we start to get, in my opinion, a very, very, like, unpleasant rivalry between the mother of six and Carmen. The mother of six is like, you're making all kinds of excuses. I know excuses. I get excuses at home all the fucking time, you stupid little bitch. And Carmen is, she just does not, she's like, oh, I did something wrong there, but then I got better there. And then I got better there, and I got really good there. And it's really funny, like, the way Carmen, she goes through, like, mental gymnastics to, like, try to excuse anything that she did that was, like, questionable in any way at all. And so they start screaming, and it was really, like, bad, because they were screaming in front of customers, and the people in the kitchen and in the dining room were sitting there like, God, what is going on in there? It really is Hell's Kitchen this season. I mean, ugh. But yeah, they are completely divided, and I think that it really showed in this little segment. And I really hope that, I really don't hope that Gordon does something like he mixes the teams to try to make the teams get better. But at the same time, like, I really hope that they get better, because right now, there's so many talented chefs on the women's team this season, and I don't want them to suffer for more episodes where they're getting kicked out of the services. So then they did this confetti cleanup from the whole breakfast challenge before they had all this American flag confetti, and they had a band playing the national anthem and things. Very, very cool to see this pro-America stuff on the show, because, a lot of stuff nowadays, in fact, in particular, there was this one YouTube channel that I was watching, and they said that, like, American flag is cringe now. Like, they said that, like, using the word America in a slogan is cringe. And it's like, well, why is that? Like, I'm really sick of... it's fine to criticize things that, like, your country has done, but I'm really getting sick and tired of, like, all these people who choose to live in America criticizing America and, attacking their own country. Like, if you want to attack a country, attack the Ukraine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But just attack some other country. Like, don't attack your own country. No, attack, let's see, what's like a really obscure country? Obscure countries. Obscure country. I can't even spell fuck. Obscure countries. Let's see. Tuvalu, Andorra, East Timor, Liechtenstein, Brunei, Lesotho, Nauru, Comoros, Kyrgyzstan, Kiribati. Attack those countries. Don't attack your own. And so it was nice to see that pro-America stuff in this episode. That was really nice and refreshing. But Melissa, she is Mrs. Lamb. She is the delicious lamb girl, and she decided to stay back with her team and clean up the confetti like a boss. But then she ended up regretting that, okay, guys? Because Christina, she said that if they didn't pick up all the confetti and put them in bags, that she would empty out all the bags or whatever, or a bag for every piece of confetti that she found on the floor. Well, Melissa saw that there was this blue confetti piece on top of like a table area, a booth area, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And she tried to grab it when Christina was looking around, and she thought it was tape, and she was really trying to help out her team. And then Christina catches her, and it turns out it's confetti. So she emptied out one bag, and then her team started chastising her because they were like, well, you said it was tape. And Melissa was like, you know what? I was trying to stay back here. I could have been relaxing right now with the men, the undeserving, crappy men's team. I could have been relaxing with them, and I chose to stay here and clean up fucking confetti. And and so then she's like, it's everyone for themselves. And it's like, I'm sorry, that is just terrible. Like, it is 3 episodes into the show. And right now, this is when the team should be the strongest. Like, later on, when it gets to be like a couple of people and it is everyone for themselves, that's fine. But now, it should not be like this mentality on either team where they're like, everyone for themselves, But I can see where she came from, because she was not deserving of that chastising. I think Carmen was mainly chastising her. I mean, God, Carmen. So then we get to the night's service. And first off, Gordon introduced a Cobb salad tableside. And he put this one guy on tableside and Sammy. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really eat salads a lot, as you guys can tell. I mean, it's just the fact that, like, I prefer to just eat, like, individual vegetables. I don't like to eat, like, salads a lot of the time. but I kind of do. Like, I really like the Greek salad and the Lesbianese salad that I've gotten from the festivals in my local area. That's really the time where I love salad. I eat the whole thing, even those gross baby tomatoes that I hate. Well, I gotta tell you guys, if I was in Hell's Kitchen, you better believe I'm ordering a fucking Cobb salad tableside from Sammy. I mean, that would be, I would like pretend to eat everything else, and I would just eat that entire Cobb salad, because you know that if Sammy makes the Cobb salad, that Cobb salad is going to be the Citizen Kane of Cobb salads. So, yeah. And then the women's team, they started off like the men's team last episode in this night's service, raw lobster from the Laughing Girl. So I thought that was interesting, how, you know, both nights they've had a problem with raw lobster. And I wonder, like, when is it gonna, because it's really feeling like a rough and rocky start. And the thing is, too, is like, these people are supposed to be the cream of the crop so that Gordon can choose who's going to be the head chef at Caesar's Palace Hotel in Las Vegas. And, like, it really feels like, you know, Master Chef contestants, where you have a lot of people who they're not really Hell's Kitchen material. And that's not to say that they're bad chefs. It's just to say that, like, they have a lot more experience to get. So I thought that was something to note. And then, of course, they had the whole thing with Matthias, and he did a couple of things bad, and he started the fire, and he was doing so bad on the meats that Jonathan had to coach him. That was pretty bad. But then what was interesting was the women were put on timeout. This one girl, she cooked fish, and she did it raw. And every time something like that happened in this episode, I was like, oh, because I was just cringing in pain at, like, these people. They're, you know, this seems like a very stressful situation, and it's kind of like a horror movie. And every time Gordon says, it's raw, it's almost like somebody gets killed. It's like, that's how scary it is. It's like, I wouldn't want to be cooking in this kitchen. I couldn't handle it at all. I could handle eating food from the kitchen, but I couldn't handle cooking there. But the girls are put on timeout while this girl recooks the fish, and I thought that was pretty funny. That was one of the highlight moments. The men's team is kicked out again, so this is the second service, and they've been kicked out again for raw steak. Terrible, just terrible. But then, surprise, surprise, the women's team is you know, first off, Gordon, he gives them a chance. Chef Gordon, he acknowledges that the surprising talent on this beautiful team. You know, there's beauty and talent all over the place there. And Gordon knew, he's like, I want to give these guys a chance because, you know, they are better individually than all the men. And so I want to give them a chance, a fighting chance. And he says, have a meeting, you know, work things out, because this raw steak is not acceptable. Well, next thing you know, they give him a raw steak again. And the women's team is kicked out again as well. So now we have both the men and women's team have been kicked out twice for both services. That was cringeworthy as well. And then we get back to the dorms. You know, with the men's team, it was a lot more like sad and somber, because Matthias, you know, he basically accepted his fate. He was like a prisoner on death row. And he was like, I know my day is coming. And he's sitting there crying, and it's like, oh, this is really sad. But then you go over to the women's team, and it's really a lot different. You have a very combative match between the mother of six and Carmen, where Carmen is like, "Look, everyone, I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, and this isn't really what Carmen sounds like, but it's kind of like how her attitude sounds like. So, anyways, you did something wrong there, and you did something wrong there, and I was gonna do something wrong there, but then I got better there, and but everyone else just sucked except for me, because I'm Carmen, and I'm the greatest thing that's happened to the women's teams in Hell's Kitchen history, and I'm gonna be the head chef at Chef Gordon's Caesar's Palace, because I'm just perfect and I'm Carmen." And Mother of Six is like, "Yeah, fucking bitch, you're just..." Like, the Mother of Six is not tolerating Carmen's mental gymnastics that she goes through. It's really hilarious. It's pretty bad, though. So Matthias and then the Cuban guy are nominated. And Gordon, every time he sees that somebody questionable has been nominated, he always, like, face palms. And so he did that, because I was wondering, why did the Cuban guy get nominated? I mean, he didn't really do anything wrong the whole service. You know, like, that's I don't know, like, there is, like, a good analogy that I can say for this, like, a good, like, comparison of, like, what the Cuban guy was like in comparison to the team, but I don't want to take too long to think of it, so I'm sorry, but, you know, it's just that he didn't really do anything wrong. He was trying to go around helping people, and they said that they were annoyed, but he didn't actually do anything bad of note himself, so I don't know why he was nominated. The Laughing Girl and then another girl was nominated. I can't remember what she did, because I haven't really gotten used to all these guys' names yet, obviously. And so, like, I know that the Laughing Girl is Claudia, but, you know, she's the Laughing Girl to me forever. Stop laughing! I'm not laughing. That's pretty bad. And yeah, Gordon did not understand why the Cuban guy was nominated, and the Laughing Girl ends up being sent home, and he says, "Look, I don't have the time to get you up to speed," just like Tad. And this is why I'm saying, like, this is supposed to be the cream of the crop, and it feels more like MasterChef, because we've just had two people now who've been sent home because of their inexperience. And it's like, didn't the people casting the show see these people's inexperience and see that, like, they weren't up to snuff with the rest of the people on these teams? Like, it's kind of weird. It's almost like they had these people here just so that they could send them home and make fun of them. And then Gordon did a really funny last line where he was like, "Claudia knows how to speak 4 languages, and cooking isn't one of them." That was really hilarious, too. Yeah. So I would give this one a B, this episode a B. You know, I know that seems really underwhelming, and to be honest, it's really because of the false advertising teaser. Because this episode, it was a pretty good episode. It's just that after nothing as really climactic as the teaser made things out to be, like, it just kind of fell flat, and it was pretty predictable, this episode, too. It was predictable that the women's team is very divided still, and they're getting even worse now. I mean, you know, as long as Carmen is there, you know, even though she is pretty good, I mean, she's pretty good, to be fair, but as long as she's there, she's going to be like a thorn in the team, and even when she's gone, I don't think the team is going to be able to be like a good team. And then for the men's team, you know, Jason, he's there, and he managed to just sneak by this episode. Like, it's almost like watching a kid, like, sneak into the kitchen and grab a bunch of cookies and steal them and sneak out. You know, that's what it was like watching Jason this episode. And I was like, man, oh man, another week with Jason. And I just wonder, when is he going to be sent home? Because another thing, too, is like, has it always been, and this is a serious question, has it always been where if both teams are kicked out, then Gordon just sends one woman or one man home? Or has it been like where one man and one woman go home? Because I kind of think it's almost pointless that if he really thinks that like one team did worse than the other, I kind of think that, you know, just that team should have to nominate people. Because I feel like, it, you know, none of the men went home, so it was kind of pointless for them to have to nominate people to begin with. You know, it was almost just like an exercise so that they could talk about the service and talk about what went wrong. So, anyways, that's my review for Hell's Kitchen, Season 22, Episode 3, Sammy's Tableside Adventures. And also, tomorrow, I will be reviewing, with Safi, 5 episodes of Disney Plus Goosebumps. And I'm getting, like, anxiety. I'm getting stomach issues just thinking about it. Like, it's going to be terrible. 5 episodes. Like, I hate it. I hate these fucking TV shows that don't release episodes week to week, like Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef. Like, I hate these shows where they just release a million episodes at once. It's such a horrible thing to do to your audience. So please like this video, comment, tell me who's your favorite chef. I would probably say just, you know, spin the wheel on the women's team, and I'll just say that they're my favorite. You know, you really can't go wrong on the women's team. I mean, you can go wrong on the men's team in a couple of places, but you really can't go wrong on the women's team. Even Carmen, you know, like I would hire Carmen as the head chef of my Caesar's Palace. Like, I would do that, but whatever. And then I think the worst chef is obviously Jason. I mean, I don't even know why that would be a question, but yeah. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more Hell's Kitchen reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon. And let me know if my Carmen impression should return next week. Bye, everybody.